Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Olivia and this is my channel where I love to talk about all things nail polish. This is part of my Did I Nail It series where I take a look at upcoming nail polish releases and see if I can dupe some of the polishes by using ones that I already own. And in this case, we're taking a look at the we're still in May, right? Yep. Okay, sorry. This year is going by so fast and I always have to double check like what month are we in. We're still in May. Okay, so the May release for Hella Handmade Creations, or HHC, which is one of the many monthly collaborations between indie makers who make limited edition products like nail polishes, body scrubs, things like that, available for a limited window of time. The HHC shop is always open from the 14th to the 21st of each month, and compared to other monthly boxes like Polish Pickup, Little Box of Horrors, etc., where all the makers and those come together around a specific theme, like one theme, HHC is a little bit different in that each maker gets to decide what their own theme is, and typically they will take a theme and release one polish a month for like, I don't know, 5-6 months, and then over the course of that period of time you can build your own collection around that theme. But I know many other people are trying to be a little bit more intentional about the new polishes that we decide to bring into our collection. And oftentimes I find that especially for certain types of polishes that I love a lot, I can often end up duping myself by buying another polish that's like almost exactly like one that I already have. And so that's a big part of why I started doing these Did I Nail It videos, to see what I could dupe. But also something too that I always like to put out there is that it is such a fun way to get to know your existing collection again and to revisit some of these polishes that you might not have been exploring for a very long time now. So, I encourage you to pull out some swatch sticks, pull out a swatch wheel, and if there are any of the polishes that, or I'll say if any of the polishes that I'll be covering in this video happen to be on your wish list, it might be fun for you to see what you might be able to have in your collection that could be a dupe too. I think that's all for the intro. So yeah, I guess let's go ahead and get right into it. As always, I like to begin by showing you what's on my nails today. Today when I got up this morning, I was intending to do a magnetic manicure, but then I kind of stayed in bed longer than I thought I was going to and ran out of time to do a magnetic. So I was like, okay, let me just put on something that was going to match the outfit I had on earlier today, which was like a black top with like dark red, green, and white. And so that's what we've got going on here. I started with a coat of Bee's Knees Lacquer Void, which it kind of looks like it says Noid because of like the little there's a little streak that got on there somehow. And then on top of that, I basically use one coat of Mooncat's Access Denied as a topper. This is, here's how I tend to approach Mooncat polishes, especially knowing that they have a higher price point than most other indie or boutique nail polish brands out there. I like the polishes that I have from them, but I also want to do what I can to make these polishes stretch and last as long as possible. And in this case, I think that like if I wanted to build up Access Denied to the level of opacity that I prefer, I'd probably have to do 3 coats per nail, whereas to get it to like here, which it's tough to see because I'm I'm inside and it's dark outside right now. Ooh, I actually just remembered I did film a while I was outside in my hammock earlier. I filmed a little video clip of this in the sunlight, so I'm gonna insert this up here so y'all can see it. But yeah, black cream polish, 1 coat of Access Denied, and then because y'all know I can never get enough glitter. Look, my red reflective glitter topper is like my just I will put this on anything and make it work. That's what happens when you have red hair. I can justify this however, but in all seriousness, I think this just really ended up being you know, it wasn't the manicure combination that I thought I was gonna be wearing today when I woke up. It really kind of came together as a last minute, like, okay, I've got 45 minutes to do my nails, including removing the old nail polish and putting something else on. So for 45 minutes, you know, not bad. But would I want to try to do a magnetic manicure in 45 minutes? No, just don't. The first polish that I'm going to try to do actually came in as a viewer request. So thank you to Ella_4141 who asked if I could try and dupe this one. This is all mixed up lacquers, go step on a Lego, which sounds very painful. The website says that go step on a Lego has a neon green base with gold shimmer and a colorful mix of glitters. The cap is 300 bottles, and if you're new to these monthly polish boxes, when it refers to a cap, that just means the number of bottles of that polish that will be available for purchase. So for this one, I'm trying a couple of different approaches. I decided to start with a green neon. It's neon, but it's not like super like in your face, like glowing neon. This one that I have, I actually picked up a couple years ago on a trip to the UK. It's from the brand My Mood, and it's in the shade Overdressed. I picked it up in just like a Boots store. I saw it, I was like, ooh, I like that. And yeah, this is in 2 coats just to kind of even things out a bit, but I've got to say it was nearly opaque in just one and has an excellent formula. So for any of you who are in the UK and watching this, I highly recommend this one. Now this one is, as you can see, is just a cream polish on its own, and Go Step on Lego says that it has gold shimmer. So to remedy that, I'm gonna add in a coat of Cert Colors Nectar. So let's see. I need to switch over to my backup bottle of this because I use this polish so often. It is just like getting very, very low. Ooh, okay. Now, one of the drawbacks I would say to using a shimmer polish or shimmer topper like this over a lighter cream color like Overdress is that you see how you can pick up on a little bit of that grittiness that's there. I mean, depending on how this goes with everything else that I put on top of it, it might not be the worst thing, but I just want to point that out as something that I am noticing that's going on here. Okay, so the second option that I have is a different kind of green that already has some kind of like gold orange looking shimmer kind of already as part of it. This is Emily DeMolly's Behind Again, and I've put this down here in 2 coats. So this is what I'm starting with as my initial 2 options. I want to see what options I have for going in and, you know, addressing the part that says a colorful mix of glitters. Now, first thing I'll say is that I'm looking at the size of the glitters that are in Go Step on a Lego, and some of these hex glitters are kind of on the larger side. And for me personally, because I'm someone who I've never been able to I guess I'll say successfully where peel-off base coats don't work for me because they actually cause my nails to peel. So I'm unfortunately in doing the soak-off method, I have some sensory issues with that. So that's why I tend to stay away from the larger, chunkier glitters like you see here. But what I do have is this one from Familiar Polish called The Lovers, the Dreamers, and Me. So if you can kind of see in the bottle there how we've got, you know, lots of good color there. What I'm wondering about with this though is that because the glitters that are in here are like, they are kind of translucent, so they do work well over lighter colors in general. Like white is the best one for it, because whatever you put over, like when you put these over white, you see these for their true color. I don't know what it's going to do if we put it over green. Let's actually start with behind again first. You know what, before I do that, the other thing that I want to do is address the part of the black glitter that's in there. If you're new to my channel, a few weeks ago, maybe a month or so ago, I did a comparison review of a number of different black flake toppers. I'll put a link to it in the description in case you want to check it out. But one of those that I reviewed was from also from Cirque. This one's called Spotted. And compared to some of the other ones that were more like, you know, flaky, this one, if I remember correctly, had some kind of, well, let's see. I'm going to go in with this first because I do want to put on the colorful glitters as well, but I want the black ones to kind of sit more in the background. I don't want it to be the case that I put on the colorful ones first and then they don't pop as much as I want them to, and then I still have to go in with some black. So let's see. Why have I been tightening my bottle so much lately? Hold up. Okay. Yeah, whoa, I have been like tightening my bottle so tight. Okay, so you kind of see how like on the oops, oh goodness. Okay, so let me just, instead of having that dangle over the swatch wheel, let me just swatch this on behind again first so y'all can see what I'm talking about. So it's like they're flakes, but you know, it's kind of giving you this, like, some of these are round in the sense of like what we're seeing coming from Go Step on a Lego. That's kind of the vision there, I think. I mean, even just this on its own, I've got to say, one of my like go-to polish combinations for times when I'm like, I want to wear something that looks like very fashionable, but I don't really have time to do too much layering. Behind again works fantastically well with the black flake topper like this. It gives this just very like, I don't know, like Ninja Turtle ooze spill vibe in the best possible ways. So now that nectar has dried over this one, let's go in and see. And what I'm hoping is that adding on some glitter here will kind of like, we'll still hopefully get the gold shimmer that's in there, but in a way that doesn't stand out as much as what's going on with it just on its own. Okay, so far so good, I think. You know, I'm looking at the reference photo and this does seem to speak to, I mean, I've obviously got more black here than what's in the photo. But now that I've done this, I'm gonna put that to the side and let's kind of go in with our colorful glitter. I mean, I hope that this is gonna stand out in the way that I want it to, but if not, I mean, I guess we will see what happens. Okay. Just gonna put some more on here. You see what I mean about how like it's like, I swear I'm putting these on here, but they're not standing out as much as I would like, because if you take a look at them on like the neck of the, is that what it's called? Like the neck, the I guess the, you know, the stem of the brush here. These glitters are like somewhat translucent, and that is definitely what I'm picking up on here, that they aren't standing out as much as I would like them to. So what I'm gonna do for my other option over here, I think probably the better approach that might still get us somewhere would be if I were to use ILMP's Confetti, which is another kind of colorful topper, but because these I believe are like little colorful micro flakes, I'm not going to run into the same issue that I was having where with the Lovers, the Dreamers, and Me, where I wasn't getting that full color payoff here. So let's see. I think this is going to, I mean, it's not going to be the same shape as glitter, obviously, but I think it's going to give us the overall vibe that we're looking for. Oh, that's busy. Hold up. Wait. I don't think I'm mad at it though. Wait. That kind of Okay, so here's what I think. I feel that a number of things. So one would be, you know, I went in with just a regular swipe of like my black topper from Cirque, and that definitely overtook the nails a whole lot very early on. So if any of you are going to try to dupe this one, what I would recommend would be to maybe you know, do the in my black flake video that I'll link in the description, I showed a technique in there where you kind of just like drop a little bit of the polish from the brush onto the nail, and then instead of using the like all the polish that would normally be within the brush to like go over the nail, you kind of wipe off some of the excess, and then you're left with a much smaller amount to spread across the nail. I think that something like that would probably work well for this, because it's like you're in addition to the black, you've got all these other colors. So, you know, my recommendation would be also, as much as I love the green cream polish on its own, I don't think that I was getting as much gold pop from Nectar as I was hoping for. So I think that if you do have Behind Again in your collection, even though I think the green from Overdress is more, you know, it more closely resembles the type of green that's in Go Step on a Lego, I'm more drawn to this one here. This is, you know, as I'm filming this, I'm like trying to figure out what nail polish I'm gonna wear. I've got a flight tomorrow morning, and I'm going on a work trip, and I'm gonna be redoing my nails while I'm there. So I have like one last day of wearing like some neons if I want to before I need to put on something that's a little bit like less bright. I think I might need to do Behind Again plus Spotted. I mean, I already have these pulled out, so yeah. But anyway, my recommendation is use any kind of like hex glitters that you can here. I think unfortunately Confetti just didn't pop enough to be able to rival that, and also unfortunately I just don't have many other like big chunky hex glitter toppers in my collection. Ella, I hope that this was a good start for you. If anyone in the comments can share any other suggestions for how you might do this, I would love to hear it. So let's go ahead and see this in some other lighting. Hey, editing Olivia here. As you can tell, I am not at home. I'm in a hotel, and look at the sun. There's sunlight on my face. This is amazing. Anyway, I'm popping in real quick to let you all know that because I knew I was coming someplace, I was gonna have some sunlight for a change. I brought my swatch wheel along with me to do the other lighting shots so that these could really sparkle and look extra nice. But I guess they kind of got smushed in transit a bit, so some of them look like they had been bitten, and I'm just popping in to let you all know that I did not bite my swatch wheels. I did have snacks on the plane. Okay, bye. Next is Sassy Cat's Lacquer. Every street is a runway. The website says that it is part of Sassy Cat's Lacquer's Emily in Paris series. Now, I love fashion, and I try to speak French when I can. So I love that show. Anyway, it says, every street is a runway, has a pink peachy base with red orange shimmer, and there's a cap of 100 bottles. Now this one, when I saw the swatch photos, I thought, ooh, this should be pretty straightforward. Like, the base color looks so spot on to Cirque Colors Lolly Jelly, which for both of these swatches here, I've put down in 2 coats each. You see the vision, right? Like it's right there. But like it says in the polish description, it has a red orange shimmer. Now, this is where I'm curious to see if which of my toppers may be the better choice for this. And both of these that I'm gonna test out come from Fancy Gloss, specifically their Let It Glow line of shimmers. So the first one I'm gonna try is Let It Glow Red Pink. Second one is gonna be Let It Glow Copper. So yeah, I know it says red orange shimmer. If I had to guess, okay, looking at the photos, I think the copper one might be better, more of a match, because with Let It Glow Red Pink, even though I know the Every Street is a Runway description says it has like red orange shimmer, I think that's referring to, it's not saying like red and orange shimmer, it's almost like implying a reddish orange shimmer. And this, I feel, might just be too pink of a topper where it might just get swallowed in there. So I don't know, let's see. Oh, I mean, yes, it did the thing that I said it was gonna do, but this is a cute combination. It's like it takes what is already a pink polish and gives it just a little bit more of a shimmery, satiny finish. It's not at all Every Street is a Runway, but it's cute. I like that. Ooh, okay. Just checking to see like what does it do for the opacity of this. It's still, you can still see that it's a jelly. Okay, so Let It Glow Copper, you are our last hope for this. Sorry to put the pressure on you, polish, but we're gonna see what you can do. So you see, I think this one is gonna do it. All right. Okay, yes, that's it. Y'all, I was literally holding my breath over here. Sigh of relief. So yeah, you know, whenever I see these polishes where there's a relatively low cap, like only 100 bottles that are gonna be made available, I think, well, it could be the case that they sell out, and then you might have to figure out, okay, well, what are you gonna do if you really wanted that polish but it sold out before you could get it? Or the other thing is, hey, if you're on a budget or you're trying to reduce the number of polishes that you add to your collection, this could be a very straightforward one for you to try to dupe. You know, in my case, I started with Cirque's Lolly Jelly and added in a Fancy Gloss copper shimmer topper. I think, did I nail this one? Yeah, that second option is spot on. So if you, I do love this combination. I think that what Sassy Cat's Lacquer has done here is a very lovely polish, but I do think it's one that is more on the dupable side. So let's see this in some other lighting and then keep it moving. Next is We're 6 by Dany Vianna. The website says that it has a black jelly base with a mix of metallic shreds and silver flakes in the colors of the queens. And there's a cap of 200 bottles. So for this one, I've got 2 different options that I want to explore. Both of them are starting in the same place though, with 1 coat of a black jelly polish. This is from Blank Beauty called Why can I not say that word? I keep wanting to say Charlotte but that's not it. Charcoal custard. That's okay. Yeah, I'm getting a little tongue-tied right here. So what I'm gonna do for both of these options is basically build these up as jelly sandwiches, where starting with a coat of charcoal custard, there we go, and then I've got two different flake options that I'm gonna put on next, then put on another coat of charcoal custard, and then finish that off with some more of the toppers there. All right, so the first one that I have here comes from Cracked. It's called Broken Ornaments. This is a polish that, you know, okay, so let me just kind of tell you what's going on in here. The colors that I see are like, there's a red, green, blue, silver, and I think a very pale gold that's in there. I really wanted to love this topper more than I actually do. I think part of the issue is that as you'll see most likely once I put this down, oftentimes some of the pieces struggle to stay flat on the nail. So let me show y'all what I'm talking about. Okay. I mean, it just, the color combination really is nice though, right? Okay, watch this be the one time that everything lays down flat, because this polish knew that I was coming for it. Let's see. Okay, see, there we go. If you take a look at, like, let's see if I can point at it from underneath. I'll see like towards the bottom and then also in the middle, how there are these two pieces that are just sticking up there. That is what tends to happen a lot with this topper. And, you know, it's fine. I guess I can often work around it by maybe like using my cleanup brush to kind of pat them down, but that's an additional step that I don't like having to take. And, you know, so that's why I really don't find myself using this topper, which is unfortunate, because I really do love the color combination in this. And I think it's very similar to what's in the Weir 6 polish. The other one that I have is from Cuticula. It's called Candy Crush. Oh, this one is so much fun to wear. Oh, it's like a party in a bottle. So let me show you how this looks. Now, Candy Crush does not, I believe, have silver as one of the colors of flakes in it. So I'm thinking that if I really wanted to go in and ensure that I could get some silver represented in this polish, I might add in just a little bit of Cracks, a sprinkle of Twinkle. So I'm not gonna necessarily brush it on as like a full thing, but I maybe just wanna dab a little bit of silver here and there. Like there, like that. You see what I'm saying? Like, not a whole lot. I'm not gonna like brush it on, but just enough to be like, yes, there is silver in there. Okay, so next thing I want to do is go back in with another coat of charcoal custard. And you know, sometimes when I do a jelly sandwich with broken ornaments, that can be enough to try and smooth out any pieces that are trying to sit up. But you know, it's a frustrating thing to have to deal with. Yeah, I can even see like it even more now. Actually, it's sticking up, and it was almost like causing the black jelly here to kind of pull around that as a stopping point and not completely flow well. Like that's, it's very frustrating, I've got to say. But aside from that, okay, this, I like where I'm going with this. I like the vision here. This is looking very similar to Weir 6. Let's add on charcoal custard over here as well. Yeah, charcoal custard has quickly become my favorite black jelly polish to use, because it's like a, it's sort of like a verging on sepia tone a black jelly. It's not just like a gray black. It's got a little bit of, I was about to say a little bit of seasoning to it. It's got a little bit of, just a slight bit of warmth to it, which I really, really like. Okay, so I'm gonna let both of these sit for a few minutes to dry, and then for the last piece, I'm gonna come back and we'll put on one more coat of the toppers. Let's go back in for the last coats now. So we're gonna try one more coat of broken ornaments. And you know, as I'm doing this, I'll say, like, I've wondered, is there any kind of special technique to try to keep certain pieces from sticking up like that? And I really don't think it's a technique thing. I think it's more just, unfortunately, this particular blend of flakes that are like this. Just spreading this out a bit. So let's see. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So I'm still seeing the one in the middle, right? But then I think I'm seeing, is it that silver one? I think the silver one at the bottom is also sticking up, and some, yeah, this is why I don't use that one. If I see it from the other angle, it's like, yeah, some others are sticking up too. So I think that broken ornaments is actually pretty close to matching the look and feel of We're Six, but it's, yeah, it's really unfortunate that the pieces don't lay down flat like I would like them to. Let's go in for one last coat of Candy Crush. And I don't think I necessarily need to add more silver because I'm still seeing that peek through, so that's fine. Okay. Okay, that's nice. Okay, yeah, I think, did I nail it? Yeah, I would definitely go with the, even though I feel that the broken ornaments option had a lot of promise, I would prefer the Candy Crush option. I mean, just by comparison, if you take a look at Candy Crush from the side here, you see how there's nothing sticking up there? It's completely flat. Yeah, like right here is probably a good comparison angle where you can see both sides. Just for fairness, I mean, I'm gonna pivot. I did see one poking out on the side for Candy Crush, but I think that was one that was just like hanging off the edge of the nail and not like sticking up, so I'm not gonna count that. Yeah, I think that especially if you are trying to dupe this and you do have some kind of similar colorful flake topper in your collection, see what you might be able to do with it when combined with a black jelly. I could definitely see myself wearing this as a full manicure at some point. That's very, very nice. Next comes from Bee's Knees Lacquer. Where is the Nirnroot? Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's described as a turquoise jelly glitter bomb with green, yellow, and blue light reflective glitters. And there's a cap of 500 bottles. Those of you who've been watching my channel for a while are probably not all surprised by the reason why I chose this one. I love teal and I love glitter. Ooh. So I have a vision for this, and we've got two different options we're going to explore. Both of these options, though, are going to start in the same place with one coat of a turquoise Crelly from Cracked called Squish Squish, or teal, I guess, you know, and that's the thing about teal, right? So you can have something that's like teal, turquoise, but then it's a question of, is it leaning more blue? Is it leaning more green? The reason why I started with a Crelly was to get a little bit more baseline opacity and color from the foundation. But then as I start to build things up, I'm gonna bring in a straight up green jelly from Emily Damali Sheer Tint Forest. So, you know, I'm looking at the colors that are in, where is the Nirnroot? And I mean, I could see this going either way though. Like, I see photos where when the flash is on, it looks more green, but okay. Sheer Tint Forest is one option I'm considering. But then I also have this one from Cracked called Don't Teal My Thunder. So, okay, here's what I think I'll do. What I was going to originally do was use the same polishes on both swatches, but the differentiation was going to be in the amount of reflective glitter that I put on. But instead of doing that, I think what I want to do that would be actually more helpful would be to show the difference between layering, like continuing to build this up with a teal jelly versus a green jelly. So, okay, that's where we're going to go. All right, so it says that we've got green, yellow, and blue light reflective glitters. I have, what do you know, all of these three colors because I love glitter. Let's talk about what we've got here. From Cirque, this is Misty Morning, the blue reflective glitter topper. The gold reflective glitter topper I have is from Starly. This is Golden Starlight. And then the green reflective glitter one that I have is a homemade one that I mixed up by using some glitter from Glitter Unique. Now, because I know that this green reflective glitter one is actually like, I mean, I think that the blue is also a mix of blue and silver reflective glitter, but I know that the one that I've mixed up is more sparse than Misty Morning. So what I'm gonna do is put down Misty Morning first, and then I think I'm also gonna put down Golden Starlight as well with that, then put on the jelly to kind of seal that up, and then finish up with the green one. The reason I want to do this is that I think that I already feel like I have enough blue coming in from the blue Crelly base with Squish Squish, but if I finish up with green, that might do something that helps me shift it that way. Y'all, I know I said I love glitter, but even for me, this is a lot of glitter I'm going to be using here. So we're in this together. Let's see what happens. Okay. Ooh, all right. Starting with Misty Morning. I mean, that's a lot of glitter already on its own. It's so pretty though. Okay. There we go with that. And yeah, this is, as this is drying, I'll just mention something that I often like to bring up in these Did I Nail It videos, where I found that it's not just a matter of what polishes you're choosing to layer together, but the order in which you layer them can also be very important. And so as you're going through your own duping attempts, and if you ever get to a point where you realize that the end result that you got doesn't, for whatever reason, seem to align with the vision that you had, try it again, but with layering your polishes in a different order, because I can guarantee almost every single time, even just switching up the order can do something to transform it, and that can be what gives you the result you're looking for. Okay, let's go in with Starly, Golden Starlight. Oh, so much glitter. Okay. Yup, that's a lot of glitter. I love glitter. Oh my goodness. Wow, This is seriously how excited I get with glitter. Even for me, y'all, this is a lot of glitter. Oh my goodness. Okay. It's looking pretty good though, so far. Okay, let's put this over to the side and pull out the two options that we're gonna try to do. Okay, so I think the first jelly that I'm gonna try will be the green one. I mean, as this is drying, let's just take a look at the colors here so you can see. You know, it's actually, let's start with this one first, because I know what this is gonna look like. This is basically like the jelly version of squish. So it's like same color, just different formula consistency. But I kind of want to be surprised by what happens when we put over the green. So let's start with Don't Teal My Thunder first. Okay. All right. So what this is doing is kind of giving us a barrier in between to kind of close off the glitter that we've put down so far. And then once this dries, we're gonna put a little bit more glitter on top of it, because why not? Yeah, okay. This is where the different swatch photos, I swear there's some of them that look more green, but it seems like most of these are, the photos are leaning more towards this kind of color blue, like turquoise. Okay, well, let's see what happens when we go in with green though. All right. And you know, this is something also I encourage you to do. If you're not getting an exact color match that you're looking for when you're working with various nail polishes, in particular, if you're using jellies, don't be afraid to like layer different jellies together, because they can absolutely sometimes give you that better color balance that you're looking for. I mean, yeah, this is looking green. I think that the Don't Teal My Thunder is probably the one that I would go with. But, you know, something else to keep in mind, like let's say, and not just for this particular polish from HHC, but for anything, right? Suppose you were looking at a polish and you think, oh, I would love to buy this polish if only it were like this. Like if only it were just a little bit more green. You know, if that's the case for you, then hey, you could create a version for yourself that is pretty much the same gist of that, but a little bit more green. In this case though, I do think that staying in the teal range is going to give me the better result for what I'm looking for. So let's just finish up with my green reflective glitter topper, because I do need glitter in every color. Okay, yep, that's very nice. That's basically it right there. Okay. And you know, it's something else is the question of like, at this point, I've put down a coat of squish, that's 1, 2 reflective glitters, so the Misty Morning, Golden Starlight. Then I put down Don't Teal My Thunder, that's 4, and now I just put on a 5th coat, and that's the green reflective glitter topper. So 5 coats is a lot of polish. So this is something where what I would most likely do would be to ask myself, how often do I see myself wanting to wear this exact like kind of polish combination? I mean, it's cute. Like put this over like a blurring base coat, I will wear that. It's like, do I need another bottle of nail polish when I've got this at home? And it's something I'm gonna have to consider for myself, but we will see. Let's just finish this one out as well. go. Yeah, I mean, this one looks very lovely too. I think I nailed it with the option on the left. It looks very, very close to it. And I'm telling myself I do not need another bottle of nail polish when I could recreate this one. I think what I should do is to try and wear this this combination as like for a full day, you know, before the HHC shop opens, and to see like, oh yeah, okay, now that I'm wearing this, this is totally something I could see myself wearing more often. And in that case, I might decide to go and get a bottle of this bee's knees one, but we'll see. In the meantime, let's see in some other lighting. The next polish is from Witchcult nail lacquer. It's called Say It Out Loud. It says it's a teal green with a green, blue, and gold shimmer, and there's a cap of 100 bottles. Now, this one I thought, okay, so it seems like it should be pretty straightforward, but you never know. But you know, I already had from the previous polish, I'm going back to using Crack's Crelly Squish Squish. It's like a blue leaning teal Crelly that looks pretty similar to the base color in Say It Out Loud. For each of these swatches here, I've put down 2 coats. And I've got 2 different options that I'm going to try for a shimmer. The first one might not be it, but I'm curious to see how this goes. You know, I thought about going back to Cirque's Nectar again, like I did for an earlier polish, actually the first one in this video, but I think I need more, a little bit more of a pop and more of a satiny feel for the shimmer. So I'm trying Fancy Gloss's Let It Glow Copper, which I know it didn't say it has a copper shimmer, but copper's kind of like gold, right? A little bit, I guess. Let's see. I think that this might look somewhat similar. Do you hear the hesitation in my voice? Okay, that's not it, but but this is actually a nice color combination. It kind of reminds me of like okay, the vibe here is a rainy oh goodness, a rainy night on the sidewalk, and you see the street lights, that kind of vibe. Actually, let me pull a polish over real quick that I think I might have just duped. Okay, not entirely, but this is where I thought I was going with this. This one is from Arcana, and it's Infected Crossroads. This is the polish I always think of when I think of that vibe of like, you know, street at night with the street lights and everything. And so you can kind of see where I was going with that. Anyway, this is not a dupe for Say It Out Loud, but it is a great color combination. The one that I think will be a better match though is this yellow shimmer topper from BCB Lacquers called Next Question. So let's give this one a try. You know, it's yellow, but it does sometimes have a green leaning look to it. So maybe this could work. Okay. It's kind of, okay, I'll tell you what I want from this. What I would like to have, and that what I think would be perfect, that I unfortunately do not have, is I want this color shimmer on the right, but in this kind of satiny finish on the left. That's what I'm looking for. And it's unfortunate that I didn't get that in a single polish here, but you know, if any of you are trying to dupe this and you do happen to have a shimmer topper that gives you this color but in that finish, I feel like that's what you want to go for. Unfortunately, I can't think of one off the top of my head as to what that would be, but I do really like this combination that I came up with on the left. I can absolutely see myself wearing that at some point. Okay, real quick. Disregard all of these over here. Those were some other things I was just swatching out for other purposes. But this right here is how that Arcana Lacquer Infected Crossroads polish looks. And I think I put like 2 or 3 coats there. And if we compare that to what I did here. So even though it doesn't look exactly the same when I showed it to you in the bottle, like, do you kind of see the vision there? That's so for any of you who, like, I don't know if Infected Crossroads is still available or not or what, but in case it's not, but if any of you missed out on it or you're trying to recreate that one, I think you could probably get even closer to it if you, instead of using a teal jelly like I did on the top, use like a straight up like navy blue one instead. Keep the topper the same and boom, there you go. Sorry, I just had to show you all. I'm like, I know I'm not losing my mind. I know this polish looks more similar than it does in the bottle. The final polish that I'm going to try to dupe for this video is from Red Eye Lacquer called Janet and Rita. It's described as being a light purple super hollow with pink and gold shifting shimmer. And there's a cap of 200 bottles. Okay. For this one, I'm going to try 2 different options. And for both of them, I'm starting the exact same way with 2 coats of this silver hollow polish from Crack that unfortunately is no longer available, but it's called Holographic Garbage. It's a magnetic, but the I believe the maker of Cracked, Monique, had mentioned something about how there are some longevity issues with the magnetic hollow pigments that were used for this polish, and that's why it was discontinued. And yeah, so I've put down 2 coats here, non-magnetized, not for anything having to do with like the magnetic pull being weak, but just because I'm not trying to dupe a magnetic polish, so I just kind of want to see if keeping this unmagnetized might help. Next piece is going to be this holographic, silver holographic flake topper from Jen & Barry's called Magic Show. So I'm going to put this on both of these. So this is, I think I've got a good shot of getting a dupe for this final one for the video. We'll see. I love Magic Show. It's so pretty. Like I need to remind myself to wear this polish combination during the winter months when, like, just look at this. Doesn't it look like a frozen egg or something like that? It's just so beautiful. Okay. So while this is drying, let me talk through the next part of my strategy here. So I've got 2 shimmers that I know I use this one a couple times in this video so far. This is Fancy Gloss Let It Glow Copper. I think I may have also used the Fancy Gloss Let It Glow Purple Pink. There's so many that I have, I can hardly keep track of which one is I've used or not. But so yeah, the description of Janet and Rita says that it has a pink and gold shifting shimmer. Well, I've got pink and copper gold, right? So you know how earlier in the video I mentioned how sometimes it's not the not just which polishes you're choosing to layer, but the order in which you're layering them. What I want to do is see will it make an overall difference here if I put the copper shimmer topper first versus purple and vice versa. So let's see. If I had to predict, I mean, looking at the photos of Janet and Rita, it seems like the I mean, because it says it is a light purple super hollow, and it sounds like there is more purple in that base. And yeah, and then there's pink on top of that. I think I'm probably gonna get better results from the one that has, well, no, I was gonna say I might get better results from the one that has pink as the final top layer, but then will that mean I'm not gonna get as much as the gold? So you know what, I'm gonna go with copper on top is going to be the better option. That's what I'm choosing. That's what I'm sticking with. So yeah, let's see. Okay. And yeah, this is not like, again, because the base that I went with was just silver and not like purple, that may affect the overall outcome here, but you know, I think that this could end up working out pretty well. We'll see. Yeah, so already with this, you can probably see the difference in how, I know I've mentioned before when I've used the copper Let It Glow topper, that one does tend to have more of a satiny look to it. And by that, I mean like the overall finish. I feel that when you look at both of these head on, the copper color circle is more spread out here than it is with the purple one, where you see more of like flashes of it here and there. And you know, it's not that one is going to be better than the other, but that is just something to keep in mind when you're working with these toppers and trying to figure out which one you might want to choose and for what purposes. Now let me put the pink purple one over here. Let's see. So what I'm looking for is, to what extent am I still seeing the copper? That's really pretty. I actually am seeing both. It looks like a peach mango kind of vibe going on here. That's really pretty. Hold on, do I want to wear that tomorrow? Sorry, whenever I do these videos, I'm like, I need that as my next manicure. But that is okay. I'm gonna have to wear these two shimmer toppers together at some point. That's very nice. Okay, and now let's do this one here. And will there be any noticeable difference? Okay. First, the question of, did I nail it in relation to duping Janet and Rita? I think no, because I feel that I probably needed to have more of a stronger linear hollow base to begin with, but and also more of a, specifically a light purple linear hollow base to begin with. But you know, I didn't have that. That's okay though. Beyond that, I think that I did capture the shimmer in here pretty well. In this example, I'm not seeing a huge difference between which like the layering order of the shimmer toppers. So this is an example of a time where, you know, the difference is like negligible, but I do promise there are other times where it will make more of a difference, you know, in the order that you put them in. At least in this lighting, I'm not seeing a difference, but hey, as always, it might look different in some other lighting. Y'all, I seriously cannot get over how nice this sunny lighting is right now. And because I'm in the South right now on this trip, I've been saying y'all a lot more than I already, like I'm Southern, but like I'm like gonna be extra Southern this week. So ooh, I'm feeling right at home. Yeah, anyway, these were a lot of fun to swatch out. And I think it's interesting in particular how the difference that like different, specifically like outdoor lighting can have on the way that a polished combination looks. In particular, the second from last one that I did here, like the second like blue teal ones over here, those I feel like, yeah, when I was doing them indoors at my nail desk at home, I thought, okay, yeah, these are okay, these are fine, but like I could absolutely see myself wearing both of these just because of how beautifully that shimmer is picking up. And so I guess I'm just popping in to say that, like, especially now that we're getting into hopefully more consistent spring and summer weather in most parts of the US at least, I encourage you, as you all are trying to swatch out different dupe attempts, different layering combinations, if you're finding that you're not quite getting the result that you're looking for, please try to look at those swatches and some other lighting before you completely give up on it. It's to the point where I have certain polishes that I specifically set aside to wear on days when I know I'm mainly going to be indoors. And like during this work trip, like I mentioned in a previous video, I kept the neons at home, but like the polishes I'm gonna wear are some that like they go with my outfit and they look good in indoor lighting, but it's not so much like blam in your face, you know? So play around with it and see like if there are certain polishes in your collection that you haven't been using for a bit because we've been in darker months. Hey, sunshine is hopefully coming, and this could be your chance to give them a second look. So I would love to hear which polishes are on your HHC wish list for this month. Are any of them the ones that I swatched out here? Are there others you're looking for? And so on. I will say, I know typically when I post these videos, I say like, hey, if there's any others that you're trying to dupe, let me know. I still will make that offer for this video, but I just want to be very transparent that I'm going to be pretty busy with this work trip this week. So if you don't see me responding to comments as quickly as I normally do, that's why. Y'all know how these trips can be, where you're like in meetings all day and then stuff at night too, and then you just kind of rinse, repeat, all that. So I'm looking forward to getting caught up with you all once I'm back, or once I have a window of open time. And yeah, I also really want to make sure that I could get this video filmed and posted for you all before I went out of town, because you know, like I always say, time flies so fast, and before you know it, it's like, wait, how is it almost like the time for HHC and we're in May? Yeah. So yeah, I'm about to go, and I was about to say, like, I don't know, I'm looking around. I was about to say I'm gonna go like outside. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna probably just like lay down, bask in the sunlight, and read my Kindle. That's kind of what I'm gonna do right now. So anyway, as always, thank y'all so much for being here. I hope you all have a fantastic week, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.